Blog Talk Radio.
It's a new thing that's sweeping the land when you don't know which way to go. The answer is Jesus and Elevation Radio.
God bless you. This is Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Mr. Steve, the Music Man Turner, and we thank you for taking the journey with us. This is the program that plays positive people doing positive work, serving a positive God whose name is Jesus. Our subject matter today is organized greed. Elder abuse, financial elder abuse of Miss Millie Mghee-Morris. And I also want to say that this program is brought to you by God and parents by A7. God bless you. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 2 talks about false teachers, leaders. They have a prominent place in our community, but they are unholy. They indulge in evil pleasure in broad daylight. They delight in deception, even as they eat with you in fellowship meals. It is a heavy emotional burden to know that your greatest enemy is a family member. We will talk with Miss Millie Mcgee-Morris, an accomplished woman, wife, and educator who has experienced organized greed due to jealousy. This jealousy and greed has linked hands with lawyers, municipal government, insurance agencies, solicitors, and even the banking industry, all pitted against her. She is an only widow who has amassed much, and they all are legally bankrupt. Turn your volumes up, listen in closely. What you will hear will amaze and shock you. Before we go there, let's go to the Queen, First Lady Leora Turner, with our scripture for today, 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 2. How you doing?
And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of.
The way of truth shall be evil spoken of. My God. Let us go directly. Oh, sorry. I may have someone else on the line. Is this, who's on the line, please? Area code 951.
This is Dr. Monica Jackson, and you're kind of breaking up on your end.
Okay, we have to bear through it if we can avoid it. Let's go directly to Miss Millie Morris. How are you today, ma'am?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm blessed. Glad to be here. And it's a miracle to be here. Yes, indeed.
Great.
Where are you calling us from? Where are you calling
Hello?
us from? Yes, I said, where are you calling us from?
I'm in Harvard Grace, Maryland.
Okay. And so let me ask you this question. Who is Miss Millie Mghee-Morris?
I am getting a bad status. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
I think it's his line.
Okay, if we can just keep going.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am. You asked who is Millie Mghee-Morris?
Yes.
I am first of all a woman of God. I love the Lord, and I am a grandmother. I am a mother, and I am a person that loves to help others.
All righty. Can you take us to your background in terms of what you have accomplished in life?
Well, I've accomplished being an author of several books. I've accomplished being a great wife and mother.
Mm-hmm. And so, how long were you married?
I was married 31 years.
All right, and
to a wonderful man.
Yes. All righty, and I believe he was a doctor. Is that right?
Yes, he was for over 60 years.
righty.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how did you meet Dr. Jackson?
I think we go way back when I lived in California. I live in Maryland now. I moved from California in 2008. And I think I met her when she was probably going to college. She's young enough to be my daughter, but very accomplished herself. I'm so proud of her. I'm truly blessed to have all these wonderful young people that I've touched their lives when I was a young woman before they got to their careers today. And I can reach back and get help from them now, which is a wonderful thing.
This is true. Let me see if we can play this interview you did with Mike Magazine on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if we can do this here. Okay. Alrighty. Looks like the link is not working. Okay. So, Dr. Jackson, how have you come to be of assistance to Millie?
Well, she and I have worked together on many projects that she has asked me to assist her with. My background is in various different areas. I do have a degree in paralegal studies, and when she came to me regarding her most current pressing issue, she wanted assistance with composing her documents. Essentially, the case involves her brother suing her on behalf of her late father. His name and the father's name is Senior, and his name is Junior. And when he filed the case, Miss Millie's mother had expired, and there was a wrongful death lawsuit. And in that, there was a settlement. And Miss Millie and her sisters and father joined in that lawsuit. The brothers and the brother that's suing her chose not to be involved in that. Once that case was settled and the funds were distributed by the attorney to those who joined the case, including Miss Millie's father, the brother became upset, allegedly became upset, and filed a lawsuit for conservatorship, stating that their father was incompetent and that Miss Millie was the power of attorney, which she's never been, and that she violated her judiciary duties. So in this lawsuit, the brother was claiming that Miss Millie was the one that distributed the funds and deceived the father, because the father thought that he was going to receive the entire settlement, and that's not the case. The ones that joined in, and anyone who knows law knows that the children are entitled to sue someone on behalf of their mother. And so the case went on, and the brother filed, like I said, he filed a lawsuit. The father actually obtained an attorney. He had to go through psychological evaluations, court-appointed person, psychiatrist, actually evaluated him, deemed him to be competent, deemed him that he didn't need conservatorship, and threw the case out. And the brother is contending that Miss Millie owes the father $39,000. Miss Millie spoke to her father, and it is on recording and the father agreed that she does not owe him $39,000. He was aware that all of the siblings joined the lawsuit, and he received the amount that he received from the settlement, and he was fine, and Miss Millie did not owe anything. That case was dismissed. The brother took those same documents, those from the dismissed case, and filed a lawsuit in Maryland, found an attorney to represent him, which resulted in somehow, miraculously, a judgment that resulted in more than $43,000 being garnished from Miss Millie's Bank of America accounts, several accounts. Some of these accounts did not even belong to her. They belonged to her brother, her husband, and some other business dealings that she had. So they did not have the right to garnish all of those. They didn't have the right to garnish anything because there was no judgment. Ms. Millie asked me to assist her. I accompanied her, I want to say last week or the week before, and we actually reached out to the judge who allegedly signed the document that gave her brother the right to garnish these funds from her account. When we contacted that judge, we spoke to the assistant, and Ms. Millie has always contended that she's never received a judgment. We cannot locate a judgment from California. As I said, the case is dismissed. So we are still looking for this judgment that resulted in over $43,000 being garnished from her. So when Ms. Millie spoke to the judge's assistant, she was on the phone trying to explain to her what happened. The assistant asked to speak to me because I was in town in Maryland at that time. I got on the phone and spoke to the assistant. I asked her for some questions about the case. She said that she could not give me or disclose any information about the case. My question was, well, why did you ask to speak to me then? I'm not a party to this case. So we went on, and so I explained to her, in California, once you go through a lawsuit, you petition for a judgment. When the judge orders that, the judge issues a judgment. It says judgment on there. It explains and outlines everything that's due, who's at fault or who's supposed to be collected from it, all those fees. That document is usually stamped with a huge red stamp on the back of that document that basically certifies that judgment. As we were speaking to this assistant, I asked her, I said that we never saw the judgment. She said, well, we have it, and maybe it was a default, and maybe Miss Millie did not go to a particular hearing. And Miss Millie is 74 years old, but she remembers everything. One of the things I've mentioned is Miss Millie did not learn to read until she's 40-some years old. So basically, she's had to learn to remember things. So she's very meticulous with the details. Going back to that, the assistant said to me, I asked her to email me the judgment, email Miss Millie the judgment. She says, okay, well, let me find it. She said, because I saw it. So she's flipping through documents. We're on the phone. She goes, oh, I know I saw it. Oh, I know I saw it. She couldn't find it. So she said, let me call you back. Let me call you back when I find it. That's been over a week. We have not heard anything from the judge's assistant. So bottom line question, nobody can find this judgment. Why was over $43,000 garnished from Miss Millie's account? Why is this lawsuit on a dismissed case still being allowed? Why won't an attorney take her case, even though attorneys say this is a valid case for her? She has a criminal case. She has every right, but no attorney will step in because they don't want to go against the system. So that's why we're here. We're looking for someone that's bold enough, that's brave enough to step up and step in, that will help Miss Millie and do what's right. Because this can happen to any one of us at any time, and it's not right.
I am. My God. If someone as upset as I am is perturbed by what they've just heard, disturbed by what they just heard, call 1915-205-353. If you have a solution, if you are a brave attorney, hey, then call in at 1915-205-353. We got so many that have that on TV all the time that they're ready to take. You can't I know this is a judge, lawyers, and all that, but I thought we were talking about some type of legal criminal system rather than a justice system. That's what it sounds like. You can't find the documents, false documents, current lawyers. This is incredible. Wow. Actually, this may be who oversees the judges. Supreme Court. You've got state judicial judges. You've got the FBI. Couldn't they do something?
And that wasn't clear. I wasn't sure. But, some of the things we have done, and Ms. Millie has done, reached out to the NAACP, ACLU, newscasters, and nobody will respond, literally. No one will respond. And it's very disheartening because, we know that injustice is everywhere and in every system, and no one is stepping up. And I guess it doesn't matter if it's not happening to them and people want to turn a blind eye. And that's why we deal with so much in our society today, because people choose to keep silent about important matters. And as a people, we don't want to come together and help one another. And it's why we continue to suffer some of the injustice that we do. We can't come together. We can't help one another. We don't care. We want to, cop out and pray it away. And faith without works is dead. And so, it's really sad that, people that you think should come through, should stand up, won't. One other thing I want to say is, in the midst of all of this, Miss Millie has been was placed in jail for 3 or 4 days because she went to a hearing and the judge told her. Now they've already garnished over $43,000. They wanted 60-some thousand more, 70-some thousand. Every time you turn around, the numbers are different. And so the judge gave her an ultimatum. You write a check right now for $60-some thousand or you go to jail. She chose to go to jail. So they put this 73-year-old woman at that time in jail for this debt and threatening her again at this time to possibly put her back in jail if she doesn't continue to comply. Comply with what? Comply with what?
Wow.
She's filed documents. She's reached out to the commissioner. She's reached out to the criminal board, and no one's getting back to her. The police has come to her home and looked at documents and said that they were fraudulent documents. They advised her to file a criminal case, which she did, and no one is responding to her. She hasn't gotten anything back. That's been months ago. How does she get justice? Where can she get justice? How can any of us get justice?
Well, I can only say that God is justice. Somewhere on the line, there will be, it has to be somebody. You have to, once the story is out enough, it'll prick somebody's heart that God's prepared to take this up, because this is insanity, and this can't be a future. It's a tax system. to society. She's been married and done great things here. And this is the end result of your golden years? That doesn't make sense.
No. And what's amazing is because, as we started doing some research on this particular attorney, and, this is public record. You can do a research on this. There's documents that's showing where this attorney is being sued against, being brought against him for these same allegations, and they were and by the commissioner, and they ruled in favor of the plaintiffs. So Miss Millie has also filed a case with this same commissioner, and if I'm not mistaken, Miss Millie, please correct me if I'm incorrect. When she filed this with the grievance committee for I think the Bar Association, they said that there was no complaints against this attorney. But you go online and you can find where 7 or 8 people have filed a complaint in the same year where they came after Miss Millie.
Hold on a second here. He's the Maryland Attorney Grievance Commission?
Yes.
Okay. Now, were the plaintiffs, I hate to go here, but were the plaintiffs white?
I don't know, but I'm just going to surmise that from the names, most likely they were.
Okay. So what we have here is, besides age discrimination, we have race discrimination. Because whether it be in the medical field, if you're over a certain age, doctors, they won't do certain things if you're over a certain age. But if you're younger, they'll try to save you. Saw that on TV. She's on, golden years, so she doesn't need all this stuff. Let me just help her get rid of it. This is the greedy part of these people that put themselves ahead of it. Now, if the cops can see that the paper is fraud, then how come the judge didn't see it?
How come the judge didn't see it?
How come he couldn't see it if the regular B cop can tell?
Well, who said he didn't see it? Like I said, corruption runs deep. And when you want to cover up, you cover up. So when you're looking at the same documents, anybody looking at the same documents see the exact same thing. And if you're not looking at the documents and you're signing things, then you're part of the system that's part of the corruption and the problem as well.
What about, the Department of Justice?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Wasn't clear.
What about the Department of Justice?
The Department of Justice, Miss Millie, have you reached out?
I have reached out to everyone, but may I say something here about the beginning of this case? Sure. When I was at the first hearing with the first judge, I've seen a different judge every time I went to a hearing. So I don't know if I'm assigned to one judge or not. But when I went to the hearing and the court reporter read William Mcgee Sr. versus Mildred Morris, I was very taken back. And my brother was sitting there on a Zoom acting as though he was William Mcgee Sr. Oh. And I said, William Mcgee Sr. is my father, and he has passed away, and that's my brother who filed this case. He filed this case illegally because my father would never have brought this case against me, because this case had ran in California and was dismissed in 2015, the same exact story about the $39,000 from my mother's wrongful death lawsuit was thrown out. And it was established in California in 2015 that I was never a power of attorney, and the power of attorney papers or documents that my brother and his lawyer in California told the judge that it was Exhibit A was investigated by an attorney that took it to the county and looked it up, and it was some kind of fraudulent made power of attorney with my signature on it, my father's signature on it, and my mother's signature on it, and dated for 2008. That was the signature of my mother, my father, and me on a bank account. It was lifted off the bank account and made into supposedly being making a power of attorney, legal power of attorney for me. We had that looked at, and there's no that is not a legal power of attorney. And I went to the county records to show it and find out where it came from. They said, well, we don't have a power of attorney registered to Mildred Morris and Alberta and William Mcgee at all, ever. So I know that there wasn't, because when it came up in our family meeting for me to become power of attorney, I declined. I did not want to do that because I felt like my sisters and brothers, all of us, could take care of our parents together. I didn't want that title. So my father always called me power of attorney, and so we allowed him to do that. But I knew in my heart, and my siblings knew, that I never had a lawyer or anybody sign me up as power of attorney. So I asked in court for my brother's attorney, Mr. Shelsby, to show me how he revoked a power of attorney. So this is what all this money that they're charging me with is, because I was power of attorney. So since I wasn't power of attorney, show me how you revoked a power of attorney that wasn't there. He was in court, and he never stepped up to the judge and showed the judge any papers that showed that he revoked the power of attorney. And that's what this whole thing is carried on, is I'm power of attorney. Well, I've never been power of attorney. And I didn't distribute any money because that case about my mother went through a whole different court and a lawyer, and the lawyer that took over that case sent a letter to Maryland, and nobody's paying him any attention, telling them that Miss Morris never distributed any money. She never took any money. So I'm going through all of this for no reason. So when I asked the judge, how is my brother bringing a case against me using my father's name, they asked him to go bring his legal papers to show he's a creditor trying to collect the debt. Oh. Well, guess what they did? They went back to California in 2022 and filed another petition and put all this same stuff, a story, in that petition for estate account. My brother petitioned to be over my father's estate, and my father has no estate, and he never lived in Maryland before. And now they brought this illegal paper into this case, saying that my brother had the right to do it because they gave him a document that he is administrator over my father's estate. Well, where is my father's estate? It certainly isn't my home and what my husband left me. So this is really a convoluted mess. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
I would agree. Mike, now I have to do some investigation in here because I'm a former law enforcement. So when I hear, I'm hearing all types of felonies and crimes being committed. Let me ask you: is your brother some kind of important person or something? He's got this kind of influence.
No, I don't know, because my brother is an estranged brother from me, because I have not had communication with my brother since the death of my mother. So I don't know what position my brother holds with these judges and with these lawyers, or why they're allowing him to do this to me. I do know that I had a threat from my brother when my parents was asking me to be power of attorney. He threatened me in front of my entire family that he was going to take me down. He was going to sue me. Just let her go ahead and be power of attorney. I'm going to sue her. And I know that I have a sister that will attest that she said, sue her for what? Because my husband and I, when my siblings could not help my parents, we stepped up and helped my parents every single month with their income to subsidize them so that they could survive in a decent place. And every sibling, sister, and brother that I had knows that, and whenever they could, they helped. but they know that Dr. Morris and Miss Morris did about all the furniture, took care of my parents. And that's what the government say. They want you to take care of your parents, you know. Now they don't even want to pay children for taking care of their parents. They want you to do it. But then here I am, an elderly person, and I'm being sued for something that I called when I first heard it. It was fraud because I know the paperwork. I saw it when he was doing the same thing to my father.
So this brother has been sounds like well, I've heard the word today being talked about as narcissist, where they basically always after anything they can get for themselves and not worrying about anybody else, and whoever they hurt. But he's found other narcissists in other industries, such as the lawyer, the judge, and various others. I just can't understand how people are looking at the documents that were sent from California.
Well, Steve, this is what happened when they took the $43,000. Do you know that my own money is suing me? The money, the $43,000 was supposed to have been put in trust until this case is called. The $43,000 has been distributed, $27,000 to my brother, $14,000 to Attorney Ozinski, and $1,400 to Attorney Shelsby in California. So that the California lawyers, the Maryland lawyer, and my brother are out to now put me back in jail and take my home and my cars. He wants the pink slip on my car. He wants to take everything from me, and nobody is listening. You don't take money that it hasn't been said that I did this, and they have already spent the money, and Bank of America should never have released my money to be used. And Bank of America had an obligation to look and see if it was fraud. If I called it fraud, they should have investigated on their own. But what did Bank of America say to me? Well, we're going to wait and see what the court says.
No.
You don't wait and see what the court says if your client says it's fraud. You investigate too. You ask for a certified judgment. You don't look at a copy that's scratched out. They don't scratch out documents like that. And it's clearly on every document that's filed in Maryland. It clearly has my father's case number. There's no case ever been filed against Mildred Morris in California. No case until this case. They just took my money and paid the man to file for estate, for my father's estate. My father died with $56 in his account. Now they want to make my estate my father's estate and take everything from me. This doesn't make any sense.
Wow. I guess I have to say this before I go to we have a caller. It's probably in my own thing. I had some aunts who did the same thing, and then I had some cousins who were taught to do the same thing, pirating and raiding, and robbing, stealing, basically what it boils down to. Okay, let me go to. Hold on a second, Miss Millie. All right, welcome to Elevation Radio 1. How can I help you?
Good evening.
Oh, hey. Would you kindly introduce yourself, sir?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Would you kindly say who you are?
Sure. This is Dr. Leroy McKenzie, Jr.
All right. This subject matter has produced my part-time co-host, who's so interested. And what did you hear that struck you?
No, just the whole story is very compelling, and it's something that you just you shake your head at and be like, how in the world can all of this stuff happen? And it just shows you that a lot of things when people are determined to make bad things happen for somebody or to somebody, that they would go to any means to be able to do that. And I'm sorry to hear this story.
And I just this is just I can't believe it. It's just an amazing situation. But I guess it occurs on different called financial elderly abuse. What I saw on Google. So it must be going on to some other people, but maybe not this matter. But taking advantage of the elderly, whether it be physical elder abuse or financial elder abuse. That's what kind of person are you? What kind of being are you? What kind of system supports this kind of nonsense? And I'm surprised that with all these agencies, federal agencies, that nobody's have you talked to your local stuff?
One of the things I want to raise here also is mental state, the mental state of people and situations. Right now you have people who are, committing suicide, jumping out of windows, killing themselves, hanging themselves, and Miss Millie's mental state has been challenged as well. And I was on your broadcast a few weeks ago, and I'm the author of Wounds of Wisdom, and I just want Miss Millie to share what Wounds of Wisdom did for her and where she was at that time, where she is now, because I think somebody else needs to be encouraged, the audience and the listeners. So if you can touch on that, Ms. Millie, to help someone,
yes.
That would be great.
Yes, this has really, I have a psychiatrist and a therapist that's working with me because it was so devastating, because you have to realize this happened during the time my husband was very ill and he was passing away. And my father had already passed away, and then my husband passed away October 20th of 2020, and then my sister 3 days later passed away October the 18th of 2020, and then my first cousin, who was very close to me, passed away in Mississippi, and it was very hard.
That's all right.
It was very hard for me, and I started feeling like I didn't want to be here, because I don't want to live in America, a place where somebody can be treated this way and have a reputation that I have, and of helping my husband's dollars when he had for tax dollars. I had him donate to a program that I wrote. He helped me learn how to read. He made sure that I went back to college and got my degree. My husband helped my family. He did everything. And so when all of this was happening, I felt the release to release myself and just ask God to take me away. And then my son took me to California to stay at his house, and I heard about Monica write this book, and she brought this book to me, and I had already given up. I just didn't want to be here. And when I read her book and I saw all the wounds that she had gone through and how she did the analogy after every chapter, it gave me strength to fight. And I started really fighting, and I asked her if she would assist me. And I brought all the documents to her, and she looked at them, and she started working with me and teaching me how to write law briefs and send in, and I had to be my own lawyer because I couldn't get anybody to support me. And when I did find a lawyer, he was unethical. He jumped right in and was helping them and wouldn't look at the judgment saying, oh, yes, it's a judgment. I saw that he was friends with the guy, so I fired him, and then the ball started rolling. Nobody wanted the case. So her book, Wounds of Wisdom, teaches you that you could go through, she went through 7 wounds, and those 7 wounds would have taken anybody out. It was just bad. And so if she could go through all of that I felt like I can make this. I can make it because I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to live. I want to live. I want these voices to go away. Stop telling me to give up.
It's all right.
I just start praying because I'm so lost to God. And I start asking God to give me strength. And I literally saw God help me because they took all the money that I had left, all the money. I haven't even had a chance to mourn my husband or open up his estate and see what is there any money left. And friends came along and started paying for my rent and helping me, very good friends, and kept me alive. And so there's a will for you when you get into a situation like this. You have to reach out to somebody else. You're not alone. You have to feel like you're not alone.
That's right.
And believe that you're not alone. And really prayer and really asking God. And we have to realize that God is not an intrusive God. He's not going to come drop down because you're suffering. He comes when you ask him. And I asked him to help me.
Yes, ma'am.
Help me fight this because I've never been in jail in my life. That is an experience I will never forget as long as I live. Every time I get ready to go to bed, I think I'm in jail. And I did nothing. I did nothing to be put in jail. Nothing. I did everything right. I don't understand why my community would allow something like this to happen to a citizen for somebody that doesn't even live here, and especially a sibling, when you know that it is a fight between siblings. And that's what's so strange to me about this judge that signed this paper. I remember her name now. She was the first judge that this was brought to back in 2020 or 2019 when my brother kept trying to make me pay this by threatening me. And I told her the whole story, and she denied. And if you go on, it's a civil case. Anybody can go on the computer and pull it up. She said, I'm denying this. Let them, their siblings, let them work this out. I don't want it. And that's why it was surprising to me that she would sign that after they reopened it and brought it back, because he doesn't live in Maryland. I am in Maryland. I've even written a letter to the governor. Totally ignored me. I sent them all the paperwork. I wrote a letter to the president, President Biden. I got a letter back. He's the only one that wrote back to me and said that he was going to turn this over to his law,
Attorney General.
to his
Attorney General.
legal, yes. But at least I felt like somebody paid me some attention.
Well,
I even wrote. I don't know. It's just.
I'm gonna tell you now that this experience will be affecting people over, because as long as I have extended breath, I'm going to distribute it everywhere. And we sometimes ask to be like our Savior, but you have to remember that he was arrested and falsely accused in court and had false witnesses and had to deal with all those things, but he did nothing wrong either. So we are like our role model. I've been there myself, and so it's wasted some time in a system that I was working in as a police officer. It turned to tails on me, so I found myself looking at 10 years of prison, and I had no one to help me. So I've been right where you are in that respect, but this is it's different because everybody's case and experiences are different. Somebody will do it. will help.
Well, I wouldn't wish this. I wouldn't wish this on anybody, especially somebody over 70 years old. And that's why I want to fight. I don't want to end up jumping off no bridge or dying. I would be doing an injustice to other people that are going to be elderly one day. And these people need to be stopped because, to me, this is a scam on elderly people. I've done everything right to earn what I have. Nobody has a right to come and take what I have and what my husband and I built for me. Nobody has a right to come and just throw me out because they want to take what I have. So I have to be strong, and I have to fight because it is a scam. It is a new scam, and it is fraudulent. You don't take files out of a dead file and bring it to another state and use those same stories and same thing that has been ruled out, dismissed, and then you take and put somebody in jail and throw them around and put them through 2 years of hell for no reason.
And you're absolutely correct. And in Asia, they actually reverence and cherish their seniors and respect them. I just don't understand what's going on here now. This is a new level of nonsense.
This is not America. This is not America. Nobody should be treated this way in America.
What anything that you want to say, Dr. McKenzie?
No, I'm sorry. I'm with you, Pastor Trinity. I mean, this is a whole new level of something happening, and I'm glad you allowed Ms. Millie the opportunity to be able to use your platform to talk about this story, and hopefully this will get the word out to to individuals, one, that it can't be done, couldn't be done, and that she will be able to get the justice that she deserves for the treatment that she has had to go through over these past number of years. It's just ridiculous that someone would have to endure this kind of mental anguish. And I know Dr. Monica, hopefully she's still on the line. I'm so elated that Ms. Millie was able to pick up your book and to be able to see herself in it and to be able to want to go on. And that's that speaks volumes for the book Wounds of Wisdom, and then this powerful story, and then even you, Dr. Monica, taking it even further than that, because you could have just said, you know what, I appreciate you, thank you for that, and then just left it at that. But you took on that, you took on the challenge to be able to assist her, as much as you can, giving your expertise lending your expertise to her to try and be able to make sure that she, got headed in the right direction for it. So I thank you for that. And Ms. Millie, thank you for fighting. Thank you for listening and being obedient to God in what He was telling you through the book Wounds of Wisdom, and to fight. But I'll leave this with you, Ms. Millie. The fight is not given to the swift. It's not given to the strong. It's given to those that endure to the end. And then that's what you do. Whenever you get weak, whenever those days you ball and go and ball, cry, fuss, do what I do, I fuss God out. Let him know it ain't.
We all do.
But I know at the end of the day, He's the one that's going to see you through. He's the one that sees me through. When I go through anything, and I just lean on Him, like, okay, all right, let's go. I'm holding on to you, and when my faith is at its end, that's when you have nothing else to hold on to but God.
That's right.
So absolutely. But Pastor kind of thank you for this and having her on your show to be able to talk about this. And I appreciate you for that.
Oh, God bless you. Everybody, that's important. Everybody is important. To me, she's a community hero as well as Dr. Jackson. And when you have this type of wisdom, you just gotta do the right thing. I just don't understand that. Now, my question.
I want to say. I want to say two things. First of all, I want to correct something. This is not new. This stuff has been going on for years and years. We're just fighting somebody that we know that it's happened to. Okay, because this is nothing new. Because people, if it was new, I don't believe it would have been allowed. It's allowed because somebody's gotten away with it before, and they're trying to get away with it again. The second thing I want to say is when you are going through things, first of all, one of the things I mentioned in my book is there is wisdom in every single wound. And there's no other way to get wisdom besides going through something. So I encourage everybody who's going through something, look for that wisdom in there. And that's where you'll find your strength. That's where you'll find strength not to give up. And sometimes you have to be placed in uncomfortable situations so that you find out who God is, you find out who you are, and you find out what your purpose is. So Dr. Leroy has mentioned about my book. I had no intent of writing this book. There was no way I could walk away from Miss Millie when I knew the impact of this book and how this book was written and why it was written. I didn't set out to write this book. So I know all of this is orchestrated by God. And when he gives me a purpose, I have to see it through and do what I believe is my purpose, which is to help unsilence the silence. And so those who don't think they have a voice, start speaking up. Your strength is in you speaking up, not sitting silent and not being isolated, because that's where the enemy wants you. And when you speak up and speak against what's going on, make others aware, there's power in that. So never hesitate to speak up, and don't be embarrassed by your situation, because what you're going through, somebody else has already experienced. You just may have not met them yet.
Well, all right.
Amen.
Queen, do you have something you want to say? My wife?
So, I can reiterate on it a little bit. I'm sorry about everything that I've been listening to. I feel, I know that this battle is not yours, it is the Lord's. And your purpose, I believe that you're going through it so that someone can hear your testimony so that they can be encouraged. And that,
amen.
And that you will come out of this victoriously, and it will be heard. And so this is why you go through, so you'll have something to tell that someone else can be encouraged by.
Amen.
Yeah.
I want to say this to Miss Mother Millie, and God doesn't put anything more on you than you can bear. That's what I heard. And so the woman that just gave you encouragement is my wife, who worked for 20 years, and got sick from her job, and actually is on 24 oxygen. The person who is hosting the show died 3 times in the hospital, and with double pneumonia, flu, and all that. And so I've been through things, and I'm just saying I'm on dialysis. And so we all have a unique issue and unique circumstance that only we can bear. Because if you look at your situation, you say, I don't know how you can make it. Somebody look at my situation and say, I don't know how he can make it. Look at my wife's situation. I don't know how she can make it. But God is still getting the glory out of every situation. And he just wants you to continue loving him, believing in him, and hoping in him. It's easy to do suicide. I thought about it myself. from a young age. This nonsense will make you in that direction. The devil is a predator, and he's just waiting to whisper in your ear and tell you that they don't mind if you do it, but God wants the glory. So, Lord have mercy, this is what our church is all about. For folks who are done it and despairing, that's what God told me to do in this chair. When I asked him, should I be a pastor? He said, who should I go after? And he said, the depressed, the despondent, those who've been left out. And so I may not have a church building, but we do the church on this program or through the church. And so when I heard this saga, this story, I could not think about not having you on it, because I want everybody to know what's going on, because somebody will be pricked by God's mercy and try to help you. So put it everywhere. My God.
And another thing I heard her say, that you said it's been going on for a long time now, and that's something we can really thank God for, because when we think of the man in the Bible who was sick for 38 years, he was sick for a long time. A long, long time. 38 years is a long time. Mm-hmm. And how he came out of it victoriously. So this is how God works. We know which way he's going to work and when he's going to work, but this is how he works. We know when he's coming, but he's coming.
I like that, sweetheart. Matter of fact, someone told me a while ago, said you can't tell God how to bless. That's because I wanted the blessing to come from this direction, and God does what he wanted. It came from another direction that I wasn't prepared for. So I'm just going to say, Mother Millie, prepare your blessing because you're tested. And so we never outgrow the test, even as long as we have breath in the body. God is testing us. We will be tested, but it's how you continue. And I thank God for Dr. Jackson's book, Being Obedient, because when you write, you're being obedient to God, a writing prophet, and giving it out, and you're being transparent, and somebody will latch on to it. Because that's what God wanted. That's why he wanted you to write it, to disperse it, because he got a plan for it. And he got a plan for you.
Amen.
He got a big plan.
Amen.
Your latter days should be greater than your former days. So they're going to be talking about you when you become victorious. They're going to be writing movies about you. They're going to be talking about you. They're going to have legislation about you. It's going to be fantastic. So think about that. Think about it. It doesn't look good today. But tomorrow is a new day.
Thank you.
We got to say Dr. Jackson.
I am waiting for the victory party, because we are going to celebrate, because I know that we are going to win this race. And when we do, we're not winning just for her. We're going to win it for everybody else who's gone through, because we know that we're going through. It's not the end. So we got to keep on running and keep on going until we see victory. And I believe we're going to see it. I don't know when or how, but I believe we're going to see it.
That's right.
Matter of fact, you said, talk about victory or sing about it. I found that a song can actually help you when you're about ready to go start crazy. You start sing him. Sing that guy's song. Has anybody else ever experienced that?
Repeat that? It wasn't clear.
I found I've been depressed or stressed out or in trouble that I either read Psalms, that's the first book I get my hands on, and I begin to sing. Singing a gospel song will make your spirit better. Is that?
Yeah. Absolutely, because I just sent Miss Millie a link to a song. I think it was today, this morning or yesterday, to Johnny McClurkin, Stand. You know, after we've done all we can, God see us through. He has a purpose and he has a plan.
Oh my God!
Don't give up. Don't give in. Just stand through the storm. through the fire.
At the perfect time.
Yeah.
I just sent her that today.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, but
don't you bow.
But you're right.
Don't give in. Just stand.
Well, before we close, I want to thank you, Pastor Steve, and your wife, and Monica, Miss Jackson. I really love you and appreciate you because you listen, and it's hard when you're trying to get somebody to listen and they don't listen. And I thank God for my team who's working day and night for me, Larry Hicks, Angela, Mertine, Alexis Link, my WOW ladies. I have a group of people that love me. My sister Sonia, she may be listening. All of them that call me and check on me because they care. All my sisters, God still have 3 sisters here. I just thank God for that outlet that I have that loves me. My children, my grandchildren, even my little great grandbabies. I have something to live for.
Yes, you do. Good
Amen.
God. Yes. And I want you to, every word right, I want you to know that to be transparently true. When I was last in the hospital for 17 days, here from birth February 17th of this year, somewhere along the line, when I was left to die by the doctors with 10 days without dialysis, I said, maybe it's just too much. Maybe I'm tired and I've been through too much. Maybe I should just give up. And then God used one of my daughters to call me and talk to me. We were talking, and she, is this my daughter? She said, yes. And so he will use some type of, or some person that you forgot about, or you were mad at, or whatever. Use somebody to get the message to you. And so people were telling me, you got too much to do. Matter of fact, if I had done that, Miss Millie, I wouldn't have been able to have a program. So no matter what title they have, no matter the gifts they have, the anointing and all that, you can still be tired. But God gives the increase. He gives the rejuvenation. And that's what's important. You are valuable, Miss Millie. Society needs you. And so God needs you. Be doing workshops and helping folks understand what you've been through and doing more. Once this is over, that's probably what you're going to be doing. And so you'll have a lot to live for. And your good friend, Dr. Jenny, is proud of you. Been working with you.
Thank you.
Time. Yeah, and I don't know if I have any friends like that. They will travel from California to Baltimore. Good God Almighty. Hold on a second, Dr. McKenzie. Are you still there?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
If you live in California, would you travel from California to come back me out?
Say that again.
Okay, he's playing to hear me. Said, if you live in California and I was in trouble down here in Baltimore, you're a friend of mine, would you travel from California down here to Baltimore to help me out?
I don't like you that much.
You're not right. You're not right.
Pray for him. Add him to your list of people because he got issues.
Absolutely. That's what friends do, and that's how you know. And this is how this is what you call a close friend. It's when you 2 o'clock in the morning, you stuck on the side of the road, your car broke down. Who are the 1 to 2 or even maybe 3 people that you could call and will get up out of the bed, come and pick you up, and without even hesitating, I'm on my way. And Dr. Monica, that's what you did. You said, I'm on my way. You said, I'm on my way. That's true friendship. That's those kind of people, That very rare in our lives. Very rare in our lives.
Yeah, I tell you. I like that. I think maybe that could be your next book, Dr. Jackson.
But when the only way you can be that way is when you go through something yourself and you need and nobody's there for you, and you don't want anybody else to go through that same thing and feel like a need, and you can't be there for them. So I had to be there. When she said, I need you to come, I didn't have a choice, because I know what it's like to be in need and nobody's there for you and everybody turns their back on you. I know what that feels like. And I don't want anybody that if it's in my power to help, to my power to encourage, then I will. Because somebody didn't do it for me.
That's beautiful. I think it's such a type of pain when you have a family member that you're supposed to love you and you've known most of your life or did things for, did things with, to stab you in the back.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we need betrayals. We need betrayals to learn how to forgive, and also learn how to pray. Because God wants you. He wants you to be praying to Him on a regular basis. The man should always pray and study the Word and in His law that He meditate both day and night. He wants you to pray, and if you are distracted, and we don't want to find a way to get you to do it. But the victory, like Dr. said, is on the way. In fact, I need you to say it. Millie, say victory. Where's she at? Is she still there?
I'm sorry?
Millie, is she still there?
Yes, I'm here. I can hardly hear you.
No problem. I need you to say this. I want you to hear this line there. I don't know why I like that. Say, forgive me. Say victory.
Victory.
It's on the way.
Is on the way.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Now turn around. That victory.
Victory.
Is. On. The way.
The way.
You better preach, man. You better preach.
I tell you. And so I think Dr. McKenzie was saying the race is not given to the swift, nor to the strong, but to he endureth. Good God Almighty. All the trials and tribulations, all the backstabbings, all the lies and deception and false witnesses until the end. You don't know when the end is. All God knows. But thank God, I'm going to get to the end of this finish line. Shall be saved. That's a commandment. Shall be saved. You don't know how it's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen. It's the last 11th hour. But as long as it happens, you're going to be all right. And when I talk to you again, when you're a victory party, like Dr. Jackson said, I want to be there.
Okay.
I want to be at the victory party. Okay. I want to drag my life. And we're going to leave Dr. McKenzie out because he can pay for it.
You're going to treat me like Rudolph. You're going to treat me like Rudolph now, huh? I can't play in your reindeer game.
So, please don't talk about Christmas stuff because you get my wife talking about. She likes to watch Christmas. She likes to watch Christmas stuff in the summer. I'm like, why are we looking at this holiday Christmas stuff? It's not. It's the summertime. But I'll get started. Any closing words, Dr. Jackson?
No, I think we've covered it all. We just, I just admonish anybody that's listening to step up, step out, provide some resources that can help. Somebody who's brave enough to speak up and jump in the fire and put these flames out, so that we can have this victory party.
Yeah. Is there a advocate? Is there a pastor? Is there a business leader? Is there a righteous judge somewhere? Is there a student lawyer? Somebody that can do to help Mother Millie get her justice. Matter of fact, is there a journalist that is not scared? Because over here, we ain't scared of this over here. The main media don't do. Oh, my God. So we talk about stuff. Yeah.
And that was something I was going to ask that I've been asked too, Miss Millie. Have you tried to have you reached out to any like news media outlets to see if they would take the story?
Well, as I said before, I do have a team. Angela and Monica's on the team. Martine is on the team. Martine is in D.C. They have written a press release, and they're releasing it out to the media.
Right. Okay, so so hopefully a journalist will pick up the story in addition to, an attorney that is willing to like you also to jump in and go full-fledged on digging in and really figuring out how these people have been able to get away with what they've been able to get away with thus far. Because it's ridiculous.
Right.
Thus far, because they all should be jail.
Well, I had reached out to Dr. Phil because the Dr. Phil show, what I've noticed, that they have their own investigators. They talk to both sides and get the story from not just me, from both sides. And I don't know why they didn't pick the story up because we had talked about it. Maybe because it's in litigation. Sometimes when things is in litigation, the TV show don't take the program until it's out of litigation. So that didn't help me. So, but I've reached out to everybody that I could think of.
Yeah.
But
well, let me ask you this question. A thought came to my head. It's kind of off the wall. But have you tried Steve Harvey?
No, I didn't know Steve Harvey still had a show. I knew Steve Harvey when I lived in California. I always listened to his radio show. But no, I didn't.
Yeah, I know he still has the radio show, and they may have either some reruns of the other. He has several shows. He has so many. But that might be a source. He's not normally afraid to talk about anything. Yeah. All right, we've got, let's see here, 17 minutes. I gave you, Ms. Millie, to the post your story was so compelling and so important that I gave you more time than I've ever given anyone else that's ever been on this program.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I gave you 90 minutes. And
thank you so much.
Oh, we love you. You might as well put us on the team, too. You just picked up 2 more people there. Catch me? Hello? Dr. Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Tell her that she just picked up 2 more people on her team.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
We're holding you to it.
It's no problem. All right. Because I jest, and that's really what we're here for. To talk about it. Cry loud. That's what the Bible says. And so I have done something that my colleague, Dr. McKenzie, does do. So from time to time, depending on the egregiousness, I will actually say the name. Let everybody know who it is. And so it may not be what I folks want to hear, but it is. All righty. Any new upcoming projects, Dr. Jackson? Dr. Jackson?
Repeat that again because it wasn't clear.
Okay, I said, is there any new upcoming projects?
Not that I know of, not right now that I'm able to speak on.
Okay, may the Lord give you new projects that you never asked for. This one works.
Okay.
God bless you. And oh yeah. Oh, okay. President Mckenzie, anything new you got going on with all your talk shows and Zoom shows? Doc McKenzie?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I'm sorry. On April the 30th, coming up, it is a creating and building a 5-star customer service business system. It will be there from 10 to 2. It is a workshop, so you can if you go to my Facebook page. It's actually there as well, and you can find the information there. You can click on the link to go for the event. It's from 10 to 2:30. It's going to be a great day. Myself and one of my business partners, Tanya Lewis, we are going to be pouring into individuals where they can come away with those systems and processes that they need in order to develop to deliver 5-star service to your customers and create and make them your loyal clients.
That sounds good. Did you just say processes?
Yes.
You're an educated man. This is fantastic. Alrighty. So, I want to say that next week, God willing, we'll have one of my great friends, one of the master musicians, Pastor Ernie McNair, he of the 88 Fingers, will be here along with, I should have a term, Dr. Fred Newsom of the mighty Newsom Awards, who's having, I think at the Resource Center off of Millie Road, a talent and model search at the April 23rd from Fortis, and tickets are just $10. On the 16th, we'll have a icon of the community, and that is radio host of the Tech Radio show, Professor Eartha Harris will be here. Good job. And she will give us information about how men should take charge of their community. You may say, well, why would I listen to a woman talking about what men should do? Because this woman was inspiring the million men. And on the 30th, we will be have 3 young wise men, under the age of 30, who will talk about the relationship issues that young men are having with today's young women. Oh my goodness, it's called Gorilla. That's what I was told tonight. It's going to be exciting. And so to join up with meet Bill Gooden, my uncle, community on April 4th at 5 p.m. down the City Hall, as he is protesting why the City Hall and government is closed. Wake up, Brendan. All right, and so meet Salute Bazemore. I think it's Tuesday from 11 to 12 at the Circuit Court downtown Baltimore, where they're having a protest against the school board and the abortion rights, which will give preteen girls an opportunity to have an abortion without the parents or grandparents' consent or knowledge. Oh my God. Yeah, that's something. And on April 23rd, come out to the open house, which from 11 to 1 at Security Mall next to Burlington Coat Factory. Meet me there. Call and register at 410-302-2737. If you've ever wanted a TV show or a commercial, if you want a movie, a podcast, they do it all professionally at the Coyote Man Show Network, at the Coyote Man Show Network at Security Mall. send you the digital invitation. Is there anything you want to say, sweetheart? Leora, my queen?
Yes.
What you want to tell me?
I'm sorry?
What you want to say? What you want to contribute?
Oh, it's that I enjoy listening to her. Actually, I call it a testimony. And once again, I mean, listening to her, it made me think of a lot of things. But a lot of things I can't really speak on, but I can pray on them. You know?
Yeah.
Definitely pray on them. Because it's pretty deep.
It's deep.
Pretty deep.
It's deep.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty deep. You must have yourself protected with
oh yeah.
You know,
and say and do
directives and all that. Every family has one narcissistic predator that waits for you to get down, and then that's how the devil does. He's a predator. It's like a roaring lion. And lions look for the animals who are weak, sickly, or slow, or whatever, and they pounce on them. And the herd. But I saw something not that long ago where a lion was trying to, or a alligator was trying to attack elk, and the hippos came to his defense, which is not something against nature. And so he got away. Another chance at life. And that's important. That's what we do today. Another chance at life, another chance to give our testimony, another chance to live. We're here to live until our purpose is over. And how many lives will you touch until that time comes? I heard somebody say it's not the beginning of you start off, it's on the other side of the dash, how you finish. And so finish strong. Finish big. Finish gigantic. Yeah, when they mention your name, they're going to talk about epic, big time, grand, legendary. I mean, come on, can somebody help me with this? Say legendary. Mama Millie, Mcgee, legend, giant, because she fought the powers that be and won with the help of God. I like it. Does like it? Okay, I must be talking to myself.
No.
Got 7 more minutes to go. Is Dr. McKenzie asleep? Did he fall asleep? He has a tendency to fall asleep on these broadcasts. Are you still there, sir?
Can you hear me? I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Are you still on mute, sir? Did you mute up?
No, I'm still here.
All right. These are this is my friend here, my journalistic friend, also the publisher of my books, Mackenzie Jr. was published. How many books have you published, sir?
You mean myself or total with the other authors that I have?
Well, all together.
Huh?
All together. Just throw it all together.
Well, altogether, it would be over 30 authors that I've assisted in publishing, and then myself, I have 10 books that I've published, and then been a part of 3 of those are anthologies.
Did you say anthology?
Yes.
You know, you really are becoming a doctor using these high-level collegiate words.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty impressive. I tell you.
Yeah,
maybe one day.
Put a couple of days.
Maybe one day they'll tell me what it means, but it'll be okay. But my book, The Other Pulpit: Life Lessons of a Leader, was republished through Dr. McKenzie, and my other book, Stormproof, has been published through Dr. McKenzie. And so he actually gave me an opportunity, so I appreciate it. Yeah. I don't like him, but he's part of the family.
Absolutely.
Okay,
This has
down
been-
4 minutes and 51 seconds. I'm sorry. Yes, indeed. So, what color are you going to wear for your victory party, Millie?
Excuse me?
Said,
What did you say?
I don't want to get in trouble. What dress will you wear for your victory party?
The blood of Jesus, red.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess that's what the colors will be.
That's right.
Mackenzie, you got a red too?
He just wear a red tie. A red tie with...
That would be you that has the red suit, and we know it. You got a red suit in that closet.
First of all, I am not. I'm not embarrassed about it, sir. I got shoes and all that, sir. Yes, sir. I'm not ashamed. You see how he talks to me, Dr. Jackson?
I think she had to go. I think she had to go.
Okay. I thought my wife would help me, but she's not. Okay. And so, yeah, I do have a red suit. I got in trouble for wearing a red suit to church one day. I was playing for another church, and the pastor man says, "What are you trying to do? Look better than the pastor?" I said, "Sir, when I woke up today, I didn't have anything on my mind. I just went to my closet. I don't mean to offend you, but that's what I would do you. But I just happen to look good because my mama looked good. And she taught me how to dress, so it's one of those things. God's people look good. Because I saw Mother Millie, I'm like, she'd be 70. What? I thought she was 50 something. Yeah, you. Yes, ma'am. I said I thought she was 50 something.
No. Who said that, Dr. McKenzie or you, Steve?
I was saying it.
Well, Dr. McKenzie met me.
That would be him saying that, not me.
Well, Dr. McKenzie met me.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you
Was he eating? Was he at a restaurant eating as usual?
Yes, we were all eating.
You bet you get through.
And it wasn't Applebee's either.
Watch yourself, sir. Don't speak about it. You know what he said to me? Now I'm going to adopt you as my mother because I'm passed on. So, what to me? That he heard a commercial about, everybody knows your name with the new Applebee's. And he said, Steve, Applebee's. And so, is it allowed to be like this, mother? Okay, so your days are numbered, sir. Be careful. Even my children, they will say to me, "Where you at, Dad?" And I'll be you're at Applebee's. We just come around here. And so it's just a great place. All right, we've got 60 seconds. So again, thank Mother Millie for allowing us to know and to share her testimony. It was honor and classing up this program with her presence. And if you want to read more about her, I'm sure you can. And we'll get information and let you know more about Mother Millie and Mghee-Morris. All right.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. We appreciate it. All right. Keep your head up.
Good.
Keep your head up.
I will.
Keep your head up.
I will. Good night.
And look out for the email too, Miss Millie. Okay, because you should get it in the next day or two from me to do an introduction. Okay.
I will.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Good night.
God bless you.
All right. Good night.
God bless you too.